Two.
Namaste. I'm glad you guys are joining me today for this restorative yoga. We are actually going to be mixing in some pranayama, some breath work with these positions. Today is a full moon, and with the full moon, I wanted to share it's a full moon in Virgo. So this is the full moon for March 7th. So if you happen to have seen it yesterday, it was a clear, beautiful day. It was so big and so bold up in the day sky. And then, of course, in the evening, it was just stunning. I'm not sure if it's going to be cloudy tonight, but if you have a chance, definitely go outside and catch some moonbeams. So I wanted to share a couple different things before we get started. One of those being that this full moon in Virgo, if you think about Virgo being good for the digestive system, this is going to be a time where the full moon is supporting us if we have been thinking about our health and well-being, whether that's nutrition or exercise or getting enough sleep and rest, creating that work-life balance is also really important. So this month, the month of March, I mentioned yesterday, but I'm going to review it, is the universal number of 1. And so 1 is about new beginnings. 1 is about initiating things or initiating change, being active, taking action towards something, towards a goal, towards a dream. It's about independence. It's about being a conduit between the heavens and the earth. So I mentioned earlier this year, to tie it back in with the numerology code for 2023, the number is 7. And 7 is about being back in nature, reconnecting to the divine. It's a highly spiritual number. It is about soul searching. It is about healing or self-healing. When we self-heal, we are taking a part in the collective healing as well. And 2023, just because it's a spiritual number, doesn't mean it's going to not be challenging or that it's going to be easy, because this is a year where the storms are coming. All the astrologers are talking about this year is the year of storms. So we've been seeing it weather-wise, yes, maybe not specifically here in Middle Tennessee, even though we've had a few, but we can see it across the nation, and we've seen it across the world. There's going to be, a lot more sudden events like natural disasters, landslides, floods, fires, things of that nature, earthquakes. We've already been witnessing that too. So it is about coming into that affirmation that we often use for eagle pose. At the center of life's storms, I choose to remain calm and serene. So with that full moon energy being, kind of riling things up internally and highlighting maybe some things that are from our subconscious coming into more of a conscious state, maybe it concerns something with this Virgo moon, or maybe it's just getting started for the year with the things that you have planned. But regardless of that, let's get started. I'm going to take my blocks over to the mat, and I've already got my bolster set up. Our first pose will be a back bend, but I'm going to sit on the bolster to do the first breathing exercise with you. So let's begin sitting comfortably. And the breath work we're going to start with is the one by Sri Sri Ravi Shankar. So we take our hands to a fist, and then on the in-breath, let's just do the mechanic first. We lift the arms and splay the fingers. And then as we exhale, we're dropping the arms down back to where we started. Now, this is a short and sharp inhale and exhale through the nose. And the reason why we're starting with this is we're going to begin with the back bend in a moment. And this is going to bring the energy and prana up to the heart. And this breath work can help to really energize this whole heart chakra. and opening up our breathing. So let's begin. Three, two, and one. Relax your hands on your lap, close the lids of the eyes, and just take a moment to notice that boost of energy you've received. Maybe some tingly sensations across the shoulders or trickling down to the arms and hands. I'm going to do 2 more rounds. Let's begin. Fist in front of the shoulders. This is also allergy season for us in Middle Tennessee. So if you've been dealing with that, remember this type of breath work is good for cleaning out the sinus passages. So it's nice to be doing it at home, right? Three, two, and okay, relieve the arms. Let them fall heavily to your lap. Close the eyes and just take some deep diaphragmatic breaths. Remember, allergens and toxins tend to collect at the base of the lungs. So when we're doing our pranayama work, we're helping to expel some of that that's been settling. So it's really a good detoxification for the lungs. And let's do 1 more round. Tree uses this in his program called The Art of Happiness, and it's to build more internal joy. 3, 2, and 1. Relax the arms. Relax and breathe. Now we're going to let all this prana that we've been building and collecting here to kind of saturate and steep here while we relax in a restorative pose. So I've already got a blanket kind of rolled up and tucked under the knees, and the bolster is going to come underneath my back. So I may have told you this before, but you know, when I was younger, I could bring the bolster all the way to my low back and it felt great. Now that I'm a little older, it helps to have some space between my body and the bolster. So just kind of play around with it. If you have a second blanket, you may want to take it at the back of the bolster for a little pillow, or since you know we're going to be here a little bit, you may want to cover your body. So I'll let you choose. Once you roll back, we're going to continue to open up the heart and the lungs. And I would suggest maybe just a few controlled breaths. But then allowing the breath to subside. And if and only if the mind starts to get busy or active, then you can control the breath again. Otherwise, just kind of remain. With the natural breath. Allow the toes and feet to slightly turn out. your heels be heavy. Soften the muscles up through the legs. Feel the weight dropping down into your seat. Softening the glutes and letting the hips spread out. Bring that softness into your belly. Feeling the rise and the fall of the chest. Feeling the support under your spine, shoulders, head and neck. And if the palms are open, you may notice the fingers naturally curling in. Close the eyes and relax the face. Maybe being contemplative on whether or not you've had any ideas swirling to detox or cleanse. Maybe clearing your calendar. Creating new ways to improve your health and well-being. Letting those contemplative thoughts go one by one. As you are doing something in the present moment to heighten your health and well-being. Virgo rules digestion. And when we restore, we're shifting our system so that we can rest and digest. So rest and breathe. Let's take 7 more breaths. After the 7 breaths, you're welcome to bend your knees and just switch them side to side several times. And then roll over and come up. So what we're going to do now is a hip opening pose. And the left shin is going to be placed in front, and the right knee is going to bend like so. If you need to sit on the edge of a pillow or blanket with that left hip or left side of your seat, you can. And there's different things we can do to prop ourselves here to make it restorative. So you can lean your head, of course, into a bolster like this. You can create Stonehenge and stack into prayer hands. You could also stack like this a little lower, or even melt down more if that's in your range or potential to do so. Now, because it's restorative, if you wanted to wrap the blanket, say, around you to stay warm, that's also an option. If you drop lower and you start feeding or feeling a load of sensation, remember you can always back out if you don't want to experience that much in the pose. As we're folding forward, our pranayama work for this one is going to be taking 7 to 10 rounds of breath, where the exhalations are twice as long as the inhalations. And then after about 7 to 10 rounds of that pranayama, you can let it go and breathe more organically. So let's begin the breath work now. Next in breath, we're going to gently begin to exit out, especially since that one feeds some sensation into the hips. So I'm going to unwrap, give you a visual. So we've been here, and now we're going to swap the legs. So the right shin is in front, left knee bent. And then if you by chance needed, right, this blanket or something kind of tucked underneath the right side of your seat to maintain some sturdiness, or even if that knee is elevated and you need to prop it underneath the knee, that's fine too. And then of course, same idea. Now each hip's going to be a little different. So maybe you want to just lean the head here into the bolster. Maybe you want to stack Stonehenge again. Or prayer hands with your arms stacked on blocks or bolster. Feel free to cover back up for warmth. Test the waters here. Remember, hips correlate to the element of water. The moon relates back to water. We'll do the same breath work, starting with 7 to 10 rounds where you're inhaling fully, but you're exhaling to a longer, slower duration for 7 to 10 rounds. And then, of course, you can let the control go after that. Next in breath, let's gently begin to walk the hands back and re-lift the head. Now move that prop from in front of you and just take a moment to stretch out your legs. Flex through your feet. Point through your toes. Flex through your feet. Do it again, pointing, flexing. All right, we're going to turn sideways on the mat with the bolster to the right. If you have a prop that you want to put maybe in between the legs, you can. If you want to cover up, you may. We're going to do a twist. So we'll lift up, spin, and then cascade over the bolster. And for this one, we're going to take a few cleansing breaths. So as you know, twist can be detoxifying for the endocrine system, for the respiratory system, for the digestive system. And it can even relieve some lactic acid from the muscles. So let's take 3 cleansing breaths, breathing in through the nose, out audibly through the mouth. 2 more. One more. This one's so comfortable. I don't want to get out, but it's two-sided. So let's glide the hands closer. Push our way up. I'm going to uncover so you can see, right? If you had a prop between the legs, bring it with you as you turn to the other side. Then, of course, you can wrap back up. Be sure to extend the spine first, and then turn in the direction of your bolster and lower it in. And then we'll take a few cleansing breaths. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. 2 more. And last one. Your next in-breath, let's gently start to come up. And while you're still facing that direction, grab your bolster. Bring it back in front of you. And we're going to do a little breath work before we do our final position. And this is called Nadi Shodhanam, the alternate nostril breath. Place your first two fingers at your brow. Let your ring finger thumb hang down. Take a deep breath in and out through your nose. Then close the right side. Inhale through the left. Close the left side. Lift your thumb. Breathe out right. Breathe in right. Breathe out left. In left. Out right. In right. Out left. In left. Out right. In right. Out left. Swapping the fingers. Continue breathing left. Out right. In right. Out left. One more complete round. Breathe in left. Out right. In right. Out left. Remove the mudra from the face. Breathe normally. Open your eyes. We're going to set up Stonehenge for the final one. So just like I demoed earlier, 2 blocks, bolster on top. Legs are going to swing over. Now I'm going to cover up. And that other blanket, of course, or if you have a toss pillow, can go under your head. We did the balancing breath. It was really alternate nostril breath, but it creates and strikes a balance between the 2 hemispheres of the brain. It creates a feeling of harmony and balance within. So for the final posture here, we're just going to do a simple, deep diaphragmatic breathing until you no longer need it. Let's take 3 more deep diaphragmatic breaths. And on your next inhale, stretch the arms overhead. As you exhale, hug your knees in. Roll over to one side. Come up to take a seat. And we'll close out our practice. Sitting up, drawing the hands together to prayer. Light in me honors and bows to the beautiful radiant light in each of you. Namaste.